Sox get together. Game 2 in this series. Michael Fulmer warming up on the hill right now, and he is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, Michael's 10-3 on the year. You can see right there. And ERA leader in the American League. Mixes his pitches well. About 56% fastballs, 13% slider, 12% curveball, and 15% changeup. That's the secondary pitches.
Here's the lineup that Fulmer faces tonight. It's presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Pedroia, Bogarts, Ortiz at the top. Big Papi, 34 career homers against the Tigers. Betts, Ramirez, Bradley, and then Leon, Holt, and Benintendi in the bottom of the lineup. And here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike on Dustin Pedroia.
It'll be interesting to see tonight, Boston's second time around, if they jump on Michael Fulmer early in the count, because they know he's got good stuff. Sometimes they just try and get right on him.
Up the middle, Kinsler, nice play, long throw, got him.
Nice stretch, Miggy. Well, Pedroia gets a strike on him. Ian Kinsler far to his right. He's got this down pretty good. That's a very accurate throw. You can see him with the angle of the arm going away from the bag. Kind of fades it in there properly. Got to practice that, and he's done it many times.
So 1 up and 1 away for the Red Sox. Here is Xander Bogaerts. He is in the 2 slot in this one here tonight. Bogaerts hammers it foul back out of play, so he's aggressive early in the count. .310 batting average. He has hit safely in his last 4. The Red Sox boast the top 4 hitters in their lineup batting .300 or better. Now the 0-1 pitch. Bogaerts grounds it foul right at home plate. He banged it off his foot and or shin or knee.
Sinker down and in. That hurts.
Like it did catch him somewhere on the shin. 0-2 on Bogaerts.
That tells you that ball's moving down and in.
That'll sail outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bogaerts 1 out of 5 in the opener yesterday. Fulmer has been absolutely dealing for the Tigers. We've highlighted his numbers. That'll sail outside again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty tight slider right there. Pretty good job of Bogaerts laying off.
Michael, just 23 years of age, one of the front runners for the Rookie of the Year award this year. Now the 2-2 line drive to left. That'll get down. Base hit. Bogaerts aboard with a 1-out single.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We're going to give it to you early. Back when Fulmer pitched against David Ortiz in Boston, this was their second AB, and Big Papi took an 0 for 3 off Fulmer, 0 for 4 on the day. And of course, this is his last trip through Detroit, and be a very good matchup here today.
Well, he got the day off yesterday because of the late arrival for the Red Sox. He did pinch hit late in the game, had a single in the 9th inning. And Ortiz now has hit safely in his last 5. Infield playing to pull. And he drives one the other way in the air, slicing away from Collins. Long run. It'll drop foul.
I think Collins thought he had a shot at it, but the ball just went up and kept slicing, unable to catch up.
Collins getting the start in left today as Justin Upton gets another evening off for the Tigers.
Is that 2.5 off?
2.5.
He actually had a day off, but had to come into the game late. But Brad said he wanted to give him 3 days off, and it appears that's what he's going to stick to.
Here's the 0-1, and Big Papi takes it up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Tigers with the full out shift now. You see that McGee has moved from 3rd to the right side of the infield.
Outfield straight up and deep.
Ortiz having a fabulous final season. He'll foul that one back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, David Ortiz has faced the second most shifts this season behind Chris Davis, 409. Tigers are shifting him as well. Looks like he's trying to hit one to the left side, doesn't it?
Sure does. Last two swings appear that way. He'll pull that one in on his hands that time, and it rattles around the dugout.
Now Bogaerts has got 13 steals, has been caught 3 times, but in general, I don't think he would go too. Certainly early in the count, wants to leave that hole open as best he can. I mean, even though they got the shift on Miggy on first base, gives him a little bit of a hole to pull it through. But with 2 strikes, I can see maybe him taking off.
And Ortiz takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ortiz right now is the only player in baseball that has more walks than strikeouts this year. Of course, he is very well respected, and he'll be walked intentionally a lot. Mookie Betts waiting on deck. Now Fulmer will step off as Ortiz steps out.
David Ortiz having a very good year this year, and it's going to be his last year. It's kind of hard to believe that he's going to quit when he's doing this good.
Well, I suppose he could always change his mind at the end of the year. I mean, when you look at his numbers, he is right now being considered for the AL MVP. That's how good his season has been.
27 home runs, 93 RBI.
Here's the 2-2, and it's swung on and belted high in the air and deep to right field, and that ball is way gone. David Ortiz with a mammoth, majestic home run to right. Two-0 Red Sox.
Well, now 1 for 4. Pretty good at bat right there. Michael Fulmer tried to get the fastball by him. But, David Ortiz fresh off a day off. He barrels this. Tried to get it in, but did not get it in tight enough. Big Poppy was waiting. He's got the 4-seam grip right there. You see it just tail back. He's done that to many.
Over and over, and he just watched that one sail. 28th home run of the season. Betts, meanwhile, puts this one in the air, and it's going to be the right fielder J.D. Martinez for the out. 2 gone.
Well, David Ortiz, home runs versus the Tigers, most among actives, 35. Added to that total tonight.
Ortiz now gaining on 100 RBIs. He's knocked in 95 this season. Here is Hanley Ramirez. 2 out, nobody on, 2 runs in for Boston here in the first. And Ramirez looks at a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Hanley 2 out of 3 in the ball game yesterday, batting .278. Playing a new position this year for the Red Sox at first base these days. And his chopped foul, no balls, 2 strikes.
He likes it over there. Talked to him in the clubhouse for today's game, and a little easier than left field, so he says.
Left field appeared to be a challenge for him last year.
Yeah, left field in that wall there at Fenway, and let's not forget he was a shortstop for many years, and came over to Boston. They tried to move him. He was injured. I think he's in better shape than he's been in a long time.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Hanley Ramirez. 72 driven in this year for Hanley. Now Fulmer with the 1-2. Ground ball left side, base hit. McGee with a diving try, could not come up with it. It's a 2-out single for Ramirez.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Across the outfield, Collins, Romine, and J.D. Martinez. Casey McGee, Ibar, and Kinsler up the middle. Miguel Cabrera at first, and Salty behind the plate today. Michael Fulmer on the mound. Only 2 errors in the last 8 games. Tigers have played pretty well.
So here's Jackie Bradley Jr. now with 2 outs. He went hitless in yesterday's opener, 0 for 4. And he'll look at a ball down low, 1-0.
Hanley used to be a threat, but he still has 7 bags this year. If you totally ignore him, he will go.
Strike called on Bradley. 20 homers this year for Bradley. This Boston outfield, man, each one of these guys is athletic. They can hit with power. Betts has 28 home runs.
They certainly will argue they have the best outfield in the big leagues, both defensively and offensively.
Jackie's numbers this year much better than in previous seasons, and he pops that one up foul, back out of play. 1-2 the count. The Red Sox had their 6-game winning streak snapped at the hands of the Tigers yesterday.
Tigers with the big win after getting swept by Kansas City. And just, if you look throughout the season, see John Farrell in his 4th season. Pretty good record. Got a World Series.
Runner goes, 1-2 is high. The throw bouncing in and safe at second base is Ramirez. Throw got away from Salty and bounced right into the grass.
I think Salty tried to be extra quick. Did he come off the bag? Let's see. You know they're looking at it. I think he did.
I think he's out.
Yeah, I do too.
See if Brad wants to challenge early here.
They're looking. He comes up, but does the back foot. No, they're not going to challenge. Close.
Yeah, probably a little bit too close.
The back leg, actually the back foot, hits that bag behind the mitt. You can't see it. You could see it from the other angle.
Here's the 2-2 inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He's got the tag on him all the way. You can see some daylight there. But Matt Martin, the video guru back in the clubhouse, says not worth the challenge, and probably right.
That ball is belted high in the air, deep into right field, to the track, to the wall, and it's gone. A 2-run shot for Jackie Bradley Jr. and the Red Sox have come out swinging the bats here tonight. A pair of 2-run homers in the first against Fulmer.
Hanging slider. 89 miles an hour. Previous pitch was down and in, maybe overcorrects a little bit, leaves this one up. Just spinning right there across the middle of the plate. Talking about Jackie Bradley and how good a year he's coming. He doesn't miss it. So 2 hits and 2 home runs. Tigers trail 4-0.
And a couple of no-doubters. Here's a drive toward the gap in right center field. Here comes Martinez to make the play. JD runs it down to end the inning. But big inning for Boston. Pair of 2-run shots. 4-0 Red Sox. To start things off, the lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and for the Tigers, Kinsler, Ibar, and Cabrera, who got his 1,000th Tigers RBI yesterday. Martinez, and Collins, and a bottom 3 of McGee, Saltalamacchia. Romine is out in center field, and they are facing the right-handed slants of Rick Porcello.
Yeah, big bounce back here. 9-15 last year, 16-3 this year. 4-2 seamer, about 91 to 93. Tops out at 95. Circle change in the low 80s, and he scrapped the slider years ago for the curveball. Likes to throw it a lot of first pitches. Opponent's hitting 235 off him.
Rick Porcello, 27 years of age, out of Morristown, New Jersey. Began his career with the Tigers, now wearing Boston colors, and his first one is in for a strike on Kinsler.
Just like any other youngster, you come up and you try and throw the ball by people, and that never really works. And you settle in. He's done a good job.
Line to left field, but right there is Benintendi for the out. One gone.
Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Andrew Benintendi out in left field. Jackie Bradley in center. Mookie Betts over in right. Brock Holt on the left side corner. We've got Xander Bogaerts up the middle. Dustin Pedroia at second base after his day off. And Hanley Ramirez here at first base. Sandy Leon's catching Rick Porcello.
Here's Eric Ibar with one out. He shortens the bunt, looks at a strike, 0-1. Red Sox this year are 18-6 in Porcello starts. The 0-1 pitch. And really in a season, Gibby, where the rest of their staff has not really, and namely David Price, lived up to some of the numbers they expected, he kind of has been a godsend for them.
He has, and I think he recognized that it was a tough year going over there from Detroit. It's a different city, it's a different environment. Plus, you want to live up to your, I guess, your billing. David Price may be going through the same thing a little bit this year, but you know, David Wells is a real good friend of mine. He went over there, and it's a really exciting environment, and a little more than most, more to deal with, off the field, on the field.
Pedroia throws out Ibar. 2 gone. Bernards brings you the big money encounter. Here are some of the particulars in his career with the Detroit Tigers.
Well, 180 regular season starts, won 10+ game in all 6 of his seasons. Pitched the last game, game 163 versus the Twins. I think it was 5 2/3 innings, a 2-run ball. Tigers unfortunately lost that game. Rookie of the year, 3rd. 3 complete game shutouts in 2014. So he's had a good career, and he has to have a mixed feeling about coming back here. I heard he wasn't going to talk to his ex-teammates till after this game.
Yeah, and
they stick to it.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I assume he did. I mean, he obviously wants to do well here, and he was in full battle mode. Cabrera waits on the 1-0 and looks at a strike called.
And we talked about the open. Essentially, he was traded to Boston for Michael Fulmer.
Essentially, correct.
So here they are on the mound.
The Tigers got Cespedes. They then traded Cespedes to the Mets for Fulmer.
And I got to believe, you know, when you get traded, he probably thought he'd be in this organization forever, the Tigers. When you leave, there's a little bit of, you understand, but you get there's a little bitterness you got to get through, and this is probably a big game for him.
Little chopper back up the middle. Pedroia with the backhand. And the Tigers will go 1-2-3 in the first inning against Porcello. But the Red Sox touched him up for a couple of homers, 2-run homers in the first inning, and hopefully Michael now will settle into his normal routine. Brock Holt leading it off, then Benintendi and Pedroia. There's a check swing. It missed inside. He did not go. 2-0 on Brock Holt. Did not start the ball game yesterday, getting the call today at third base. On the outer edge, a strike, 2-1. 2-run shots by Ortiz and Jackie Bradley Jr. in the first inning. That's chopped foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Holt.
Another slider right there. Looks like not biting quite as much tonight. Keep an eye on that.
Red Sox, a great example of how in baseball you don't have to be the biggest guy to succeed. That's up and in. I mean, you got guys like Holt. He's not a big guy. Betts not a big guy. Pedroia not a big guy. These are all quality big league players.
Yeah, great athletes, very determined, have a good makeup.
Here's the 3-2. Sliced toward left field, and it's going to fall right into the glove of Tyler Collins. 1 away. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Andrew Benintendi.
Another good therapy last name, Benintendi.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, I do.
Just pronouncing certain names can be really good therapy. Good practice. There's a strike called on Benintendi. Well, he is a highly regarded prospect. In fact, was ranked 6th overall in baseball coming into the season.
He actually was called up from Double-A right to the big leagues.
You think that's as big a jump anymore than it used to be years ago?
Well, I think it just depends, but that's a big jump. That's a pretty big jump. But they obviously realize he's a guy that is a nice play right there by Kinsler.
He's made 2 nice plays in this game.
He's loose, one to his right, this one to his left. Look at that. Just put his glove right there. Knows how to read that hop. Benintendi is out.
Got him by half a step at first base.
2 down.
We'll bring up Dustin Pedroia, who hit the other ground ball that Kinsler made a fine play on. That one, though, was to his right to start the ball game.
I really respect Pedroia, the way he's played the game all these years. Brings it every night. Very aggressive, very intense. I think you have to have a good mix of intense people, people that are laid back, and kind of role players, leaders. Pretty good power for not so big guy.
That's a strike called 1-1. You bring up a good point about chemistry in the locker room. I think you're right. I think you have to have different kinds of personalities really to make it click, as long as you have enough of each. And you've got to have the superstars, obviously, but got to have the role players. And guys like Pedroia, who are not afraid to get dirty every day.
No, he's not. And you got to have all your bases covered. You don't know what the situation is going to be that's going to happen, but you need to have a clubhouse that will police itself.
Chopped to the left side of the infield. McGee cuts it off, and Pedroia is out. Much better second inning for Fulmer. 1-2-3 they go. Here's Tyler Collins signing autographs for Tigers fans. Another good crowd in attendance here tonight with the Red Sox in town. Tigers have Victor Martinez leading it off in a 4-0 ball game. Red Sox lead. Porcello's 1-0 is bounced to first. It gets right by Ramirez. Porcello covers and can't handle it. And Victor Martinez is safe. Well, that was a wacky looking play.
It was. I think Porcello anticipated the ball was going to be handled. And he did not immediately get over, but boy, can he run. He came over running, but maybe a little out of control. And turns into Victor getting on base. Look at here. Look at it. He can really turn it on, but just kind of out of control. You want to try and get to that bag and break it down, become more of a stationary target. Hanley didn't want to get that one off the chest, did he?
No, he did not want to get in front of that one.
He's trying to lay that.
And Pedroia backed him up, but Porcello couldn't handle his wide throw. And so 1 on, nobody out. Here is J.D. Martinez, and he fouls it off. They're going to call an error on that play and charge it to Pedroia.
Thought was it Pedroia or the pitcher or the second baseman?
Yes, Pedroia, the second baseman. Oh, and 1 on J.D. Martinez.
Porcello looking for the ground ball.
Instead gets a long drive into deep right field. That ball is hit well, and it is gone. Wow. A rocket to right center, and it's a 4-2 ball game. Man, does he hit the ball hard.
This is right down the middle of the plate. JD with a great approach. The ball is flying to right field tonight, and these balls are all hit well, but seem like they're a little extra atmosphere. See the two seam right there. Just didn't get where he wanted it. You can see the catcher Leon reaching across. JD, this is his power stroke right there, right to right center, right over the freaky fast sign. Cut into that lead. Now 4-2.
We've had 3 2-run homers in this game, and J.D. Martinez now has a 10-game hitting streak. Here is Tyler Collins. That bends up high, and the count on Collins now 1-1. Tyler at 227. That's fouled back out of play. 1-2. The home run for Martinez, number 17, RBIs 46 and 47, and there's your exit speed, 106.
The average is about mid-90s. Major league average of the exit velocity.
Got him, strike three.
That's the swing back. Look at JD again. Look at the swing, how he stays behind that ball. Directs that barrel right to the sweet spot of the bat. On the ball. That got out of here quick.
Was it a couple of nights ago that JD hit one to right field? It did not go. It was right at the right fielder Kane, but the exit speed on that was 109. And that was an out.
Yeah, I don't know that speed necessarily means how far.
Right.
I think has a lot to do with the spin on the ball. I don't know if it's even spin rate, but obviously if you have backspin, it's going to carry out. If you have topspin, it's not going to. For knuckleball, good luck catching it.
0-2 on McGee.
So he got his book out?
Not yet. Casey McGee batting .255, 1 for 4 in the opening game yesterday.
Imagine what kind of year JD would have if he didn't miss that almost 7 weeks.
Easily in the mid-20s in home runs, I would think. There's a foul at home plate. McGee's still alive. I mean, Martinez is one of those guys that can make Comerica Park look extremely small.
Any park. See Ty Collins and JD comparing notes.
Missed it up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's by direction. He'll hit him anywhere. Left, center, right. That makes you hard to defend. Of course, you can't defend those.
2-2 on McGee. There's Saltalamacchia waiting on deck. Leadoff error proves to be somewhat costly here in this inning. Now the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You see Porcello just trying to keep the ball down. Right around 89, 90 miles an hour.
And he lost it, ball 4. He was ahead 0-2. First walk of the ball game for Rick. Hey, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. We need 2 more before this game is over. Here's Saltalamacchia. Infield playing to pull on Saltalamacchia. 0 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Bouncing ball foul, first base side. Salty, former Red Sox player.
Having a pretty good year. Average is not up, but 11 home runs, many of them big ones. 35 RBI.
Swing and a miss.
See that tied most in the AL by a player with less than 200 at bats. Franklin Gutierrez, the other with 11.
Part of the Red Sox 2010 through 2013. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Second strikeout now for Porcello.
I don't know if you saw the open or the game last night, but Kevin Romine gets walked in. He's 0 for 4 with 3 walks and a hit batter, and this year with the bases loaded with 5 RBI. And here they are. That was in Toronto. This was yesterday. He's got a way and got a knack of competing any way to get the job done.
There's a strike called on Romine. 223 average with 1 home run, 7 RBIs.
Did I call him Kevin?
You did. That's his daddy. That's all right.
Keating must have been talking to me. Got me off track.
Must have been. 0-2. Let's blame it on the president.
Where would I get that?
Well, you guys played the same era, didn't you? You and Kevin? Seriously, he was like in the 80s, Kevin Romine?
Yeah, maybe that's it, huh?
That's probably it.
Well, there's 3 of them out there to pick from.
Well, Austin's his brother, and he's playing right now, along with Andrew. Here's the 0-2, and he missed inside.
Well, he did that pitch right there to Tyler Collins. It's a swing back sinker, throws it inside, and then swing back. He's trying to swing it back on the corner. Almost had Romine, but didn't quite get it back to the plate.
And a bouncing ball left side, diving stop there by Holt, goes to second for the force to end the inning. However, Tigers get on the board. Okay. Well, hopefully he is settled in, and the Tigers now down by 2 runs. There's a bouncing ball to third on the backhand, McGee, and Bogarts is out by a step, 1 gone. Check in now with Justin White.
Hey Mario, as you can see, Michael Fulmer is rocking a pretty sweet beard these days, but that has not always been the case. See, when Fulmer was in the Mets organization, they didn't allow beards. They only allowed a mustache. So check this out. That's Fulmer with the Savannah Sandgnats, and that mustache was not a big hit. Apparently his wife was not a fan, so when he came over to the Tigers, Fulmer started growing out the beard, and at first he said it was a case of let's see how long I can grow this thing. Now he's actually trying to make it look good. And how about that wispy stash, guys? Nice. On a young Michael Fulmer. I mean, I can't really talk because I couldn't grow facial hair till I was about, I don't know, 26, 27, but you know, whatever works.
Well, it's kind of cool to see a photo without the beard. You can actually see what his face looks like.
Indeed.
There's a bouncer up the middle. Kinsler with the backhand pick, and Ortiz out of there.
It looks like it'd be a little bushier now, a little thicker.
Probably a little bit older. There is the current Michael Fulmer, who has settled in nicely now following the 2-run homers.
When he shaves that beard, he could make anything he wants out of it.
Got that right.
Then you probably have to shave it before you go out in public.
Here is Mookie Betts. Betts with a fly ball to right field his first time up. That dives low and away, 1-0. Six in a row have been retired now following the Jackie Bradley home run. The 1-0 pitch. Down the middle it comes, a strike call. Fulmer in search of his 11th win of the season. Tigers are 16-3 in his starts this year. So when you look at a win-loss record for a pitcher, that tells part of the story. The other part is, what's the team record in his starts?
Well, and the other thing is they like to play behind Michael Fulmer. He works fast. He throws strikes. He's a good athlete himself, plays good defense, so he keeps everybody on their toes. There you can see 10 wins as second among rookie starters. Look at the double plays. First, opponent's average second. The whip, that's walks plus hits.
Little chopper back to the mound. Fulmer handles this one, and he's going to have himself another easy 1-2-3 inning.
3 ground balls.
7 straight retired now for Michael.
Run there later to go on and score 3 in the 8th to win the game 4-3. That was a pretty interesting replay, probably the most unique we've seen since replay the games that I've done.
I would agree, and you know it's unique when you have all 4 umpires conferring and they still go to New York to figure out what in the world just happened.
Well, Brad challenged the catch, no catch, and you look at it there with our cameras, you can see he clearly did not catch it, but from where everybody was looking at, they didn't have that view. They had the view from where we're sitting now, and it looked like he caught the ball. So it was a very confusing play on the field. Jerry Lane, the first base umpire, had his hand up out, so everybody's reacting to that. So that's why they end up replacing the players as goes down on strikes. Ian goes down on strikes here to lead off the third.
It'll be the 3rd strikeout now for Porcello.
So, you know, we try and represent fair analysis from the umpire's perspective as well. I mean, that's what he saw. He kept his arm up, and you know their intention is to get it right, and that's where I think replay really comes into it. I think we had some John Keating did sit down with Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, and hopefully we'll bring you some of that about what they're trying to do in that situation, because you know either manager did not get heated. They were professional about it, and you know everything stayed calm, and they could sort it out correctly.
Eric Ibar, the batter here, with 1 out. We're in the 3rd, 4-2 Red Sox.
Because we look and we show the camera, you're always wondering what are they saying? What's the procedure? Because we are told that mostly it's New York that does most of the talking, though the umpires do go over there and give what they've got, why they made the call, and then New York makes the decision. MLB in New York, the replay center.
There's a strikeout, Ibar. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The hardest part of that whole play there was deciding where the runners would end up once they realized the ball had not been caught by Bradley.
It was a 3-2 count. JD was on the move, so they awarded him third base.
Did he go? Yes, says home plate umpire Jerry Lane. And there are 2 gone. Well, Scott Berry, who was the umpire yesterday that John Keating sat down with, talked about that wacky play here at the ballpark.
And that really was the difficult part for us yesterday, was trying to determine where to place runners. That's why it's just a lot easier for replay because they have the overhead cam at home and they're able to see all of that.
So what kinds of things are you guys talking about on the field?
We want to know if anybody has any other information. Did we have a catch? Did we not have a catch? Did we see anything other than that's pertinent? A touching of a base, a miss of a base, any other tags that we may have not seen. So we want to take all that, put it together, and then come up with the best decision we can.
And they did. And it turned out to help the Tigers, because the Tigers ended up getting a run in that inning.
Well, I talked to Brad, and he said, you know, it was confirmed from his dugout that the ball was not caught. So he knew that he was going to have runners on base. That's why he made the request.
Here's the 1-1. And Cabrera shoots a ground ball to third. Cut off there by Holt. And Miggy is out of there. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. Both starters.
Agreed, Mario. Fulmer has settled in very nicely his last couple of innings, and of course Porcello, who's having a sensational season, he's also settled in.
And it's going to be Hanley Ramirez here in the 4th inning. Ramirez, Bradley, and Sandy Leon. The righty Fulmer has retired 7 straight since the 2nd home run he allowed in the 1st. Here's a soft line drive caught by Kinsler. MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on some of the lowest ERAs among rookies in the last 40 seasons, and Fulmer is on that list.
Yeah, he's on there with Mark Fidrich right next to him in 1976. Jose Fernandez, he's struck a few people out in his career. Liriano and Righetti. Look at the picture of Rags there.
Black and white photo.
Yeah, anytime you start dusting off those black and white photos, you know that player is doing something special.
1 strike on Jackie Bradley Jr. 2-run shot in the 1st inning. The 0-1 sails outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Touched on Jackie Bradley Jr. in the pregame show today, and the fact that probably in 2013, after having a great spring training, they rushed him to the big leagues.
Here's the 1-1.
He had less than 500 minor league at bats before he made that team in 2013 and struggled mightily. But now he's got some friends on the team, and Bogarts and Betts, and those guys have a wonderful time, and Bradley looks like he's here to stay.
High towering fly ball to right center field. Picked the wrong part of the ballpark this time. Romine hauls it in. 2 outs. How many at bats do you guys think it takes for the typical minor leaguer, not the elite prospect type guys, but the typical minor leaguer to get in the minor leagues before you kind of feel that they might be ready for the next level?
I think somewhere at 1,500, 2,000 is the way it used to be, especially for a high school kid. I mean, that's about 400, 500 bats a year, and you get yourself through A-ball, AA, AAA, the natural transgression. But that's not the case anymore, Mario. You got guys getting to the movies after just maybe 12 months, like Benintendi,
right?
Their left fielder. He just got drafted last season.
Well, Michael Conforto was an example of that last year, Rod. He came very quickly for the Mets, did well, but now he's struggling this year. And the part of it is I think the main element of it is you come up and you have success, but your opponent is going to find the weakness and they're going to explore it, and then you have to know how to respond to it, how to make that change, the adjustment. It's hard if you're not experienced, I believe.
It's going to be a ground rule double for Sandy Leon, who just continues to torture Tigers pitching this year.
He's torturing everybody's pitching this year.
2 out, 2 base hit, stops a string of 9 straight, retired.
And take a look at the hips open up here of Leon. And I've seen tonight so far Fulmer give up more hard contact than he's given up pretty much in all of his starts combined. I mean, in any one start, I'm saying. When Big Papi comes up again, we'll take a look at him too. Left-handers must be looking inside because Big Papi really opened up his hips too on his home run.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to get it in there deep, but like you say, Papi was waiting, and he probably missed his spot by 2 inches or so, and he made him pay. Now, there's a perfect example. The guys do scouting. They look at film before every game, and Big Papi certainly knows what to do with the information.
Here's the 1-0 to Brock Holt, and he looks at a ball high, 2-0.
I know you guys remember this, that when Fulmer pitched against this team in Boston, he was following Justin Verlander, and Verlander had an outstanding start against them where he overpowered them with lots of fastballs inside, and Fulmer followed suit. And so far, Boston looking for those pitches, so Fulmer has to make an adjustment now.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield, McGee and Ibar. It's going to be Ibar called off by Collins, who comes in.
I like that call off.
That'll end the inning. No runs, double, one-man strike.
Keep rolling. 209 runs. Positive in the positive direction in the run differential. Up 13 games over St. Louis.
Is that easy for Joe Maddon's Cubbies?
I guess so, man. A run differential of over 200.
That's push button, Rod.
Have you seen what that Bryant kid's doing, man? 30 homers already for that kid Bryant, Chris Bryant. Man, what a special player they've got in Chicago.
Yeah, he had a big day yesterday.
And it wasn't long ago they were holding him back in the minor leagues for him getting ready. Remember that?
There's a hot shot grounder to Bogarts, and Victor is out of there. There was some controversy surrounding that. They finally got him to the big leagues. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. All right, Ron, we'll let you go first today. Who's your player of the game?
Give me Ibar today.
Ooh, Ibar, okay.
I think we're going to need that today to manufacture a run or two later on against Porcello.
Go ahead, Mario.
I will go with Ian Kinsler.
Okay, so I'll go with JD.
Well, yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Well, you know, that's the kind of guy he is.
You both had the chance.
Both of us are being nice.
Gracious, Gibby.
That's like a draft pick. That's what the Tigers do when they're drafting first. They hope the guy doesn't go off the board, right? Not that he's just done. He's got a 2-run bomb already means anything.
Yeah, nothing at all.
I'll take the odds. Thanks, boys.
You're welcome. 1-1 the count. JD. Porcello stays away and misses Lone away. 2-1. We've got on Rick here. 34 strikes, 16 out of the strike zone after 50 pitches.
He's always been a strike thrower, Mario. That much we do know since 2009. This guy does not walk many.
2-1 is outside. 3-1.
And he's really kind of coming to his own as far as his velocity is concerned. Some of his fastballs get up to 94, 95 miles an hour. Lots of his strikeouts are coming up in the zone like many pitchers these days.
He'll He'll shoot that one foul back out of play. 3-2.
Here's the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window back in the second inning. Runner on the air. JD, my guy. I should say our guy. But your Porcello pretty good. Was he got 4 strikeouts and 5 groundouts already in this game into the 4th.
You know, JD's such a smart hitter, guys. He started him off with the first pitch breaking ball in that at bat in the second. And then with a runner on first base, you know Porcello's looking for the double play ball. So JD was looking for that 2-seamer. Porcello did miss with his location, but the path that JD took to the baseball, that inside out swing, that's the kind of path you have to take against sinker ballers, and he barreled him up nicely.
And a line drive, base hit out of the reach of Bogaerts. And JD 2 more hits.
JD has the perfect swing for guys that throw sinker balls because he stays inside the baseball as well as most right-handers in our sport. The bat knob leads, the bat lags in the strike zone, and then once that bat gets into the hitting zone, it's some tremendous bat speed coming through there. What a pretty swing.
Yeah, and he'd seen the breaking ball, the fastball, and then he tried to trick him with the changeup, and he was there. He's waiting for it. But Rod pointed out very nicely.
He's been on fire.
Yeah, that ball went right through his mitt.
Bogaerts coming in for a new piece of equipment.
Let's see the exit velocity on that. It's broke.
Yep. Stitch it up.
There you go. You take a look. Went right through it. That's some hitting the ball solid there. That's hard contact.
Here's Tyler Collins, 1 on, 1 out. Collins struck out looking in the second.
You know, at some point in time during this game, Brad might put a hit and run or 2 on, especially with Porcello on the mound. Porcello's thrown more ground ball double plays since he's been in the big league since 2009 than anybody.
I'd pick Ibar and McGee for sure. You got anybody else, Rod, that you think you might try it with? Maybe Romine?
I wouldn't mind doing it here with Collins, to be honest with you, unless you're looking for him to go big fly.
Yeah, maybe a 2-1 count.
Instead, it's 3-0.
3-0. What's your philosophy on the 3-0 count, Rod?
It depends on who the guy is. There's very few that can do this and do it the right way. And so many guys, when you give them a 3-0 count, they're trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. They take huge swings. They pull off the baseball, and therefore they don't make contact. So I don't mind it if a guy stays under control.
He will swing 3-0, but a lazy fly ball to shallow center. And Jackie Bradley comes in to make the play. 2 gone.
Well, that's an example of it right there.
It's a 2-seam fastball at 89 miles an hour, tailing away from him, so it tails right off of the barrel of the bat right to the end, and the end result is the pop-up. Porcello had an idea that he might be swinging there. That's why he didn't throw him the firmer 4-seam fastball.
Looks like maybe he didn't get the swing, the green light after all. I see Brad asked him a little question there. Maybe a misunderstanding.
Here is Casey McGee with 2 outs. He'll drive one to right field, slicing though. It'll get back out of play.
As a manager, Kurt, I mean, which guys would you choose to allow to swing 3-0? As a matter of smack, would Goldschmidt swing 3-0?
He had it. He practiced it in spring training. He would, but a lot of it depends upon how they feel as well. You know if you're taking good BP or not. You know whether you center Porcello up or not, and I think you have to process the information. Some guys yes, some guys no, but I used to try and get the guys to practice it in spring training every year.
Slice to right field. McGee has a base hit. That'll move JD to second base, and McGee on for the second time.
I think the guys, mostly the guys that have power, so Kinsler, Cabrera, V-Mart, JD, maybe even Salty in this lineup today, if they had practiced, and I'd give them the green, but it would be their decision. And of course, you have conversations about this throughout the year. You know, you say, hey, how do you feel up there? You know, what are you looking for? As a manager, you want to make sure you understand what their thought process is. If that's right and you see the results, And in the practice, I think you give him the green light. Other than that, you got to hold it back because you don't want to, you know, it didn't work out good there with Tyler Collins. It's a 3-0 count, and you hit one off the end of your bat, and all of a sudden you've done the Red Sox a favor.
Salty fouls it back out of play. 0-1.
Question for you, Gibby, and this is not second guessing by any stretch of the imagination, but McCann caught Fulmer 5 days ago, shut out in Texas, obviously. Saltalamacchia catching him today. What might be going through the reason Brad has Salty catching him tonight?
Well, I don't know. I don't have all the information. You know, you try not to establish, I guess, catering catchers where a guy has to see the same guy every time. I think that's something you want to stay away from. But I mean, he's got a lot of information. I don't know what his thought process is on who catches on what day and the reasons why. But there are a lot of things that you and I had a discussion today about information that you have that nobody else does have. And, you know, you're going to think it out, calculate it the best you can, and do what you think is best for the team to win the game. And I mean, I don't know his reasoning, but I'm sure he's got a solid grounds to have done it this way.
1-2 on Saltalamacchia. The tying runs on here in a 4-2 ball game. And a swing and a miss. He left the strike zone. So Porcello is able to dust him. His 5th strikeout of the ball game. Tigers strand 2.
And the umpire Brian Honora got right in there, and then of course he went into the dugout, and I know there's some questioning there as well.
Oh, look at that play by Miguel Cabrera, stretching out to his right and taking a hit away from Benintendi.
That might have been a double, Mario. With his speed, J.D. Martinez would have had to run aggressively to his left to get to that ball in right field. And what a play by Miguel Cabrera, an underrated defender at first base. Big league play.
You know, I watched him run down to first on that last ball he hit, Rod, and he was really running good and hard. We had a conversation today before the game about how well he really runs and his way he runs the bases, etc., and he's feeling good tonight.
Good athlete. This might be one of the most athletic outfields in all of baseball with Betts and Bradley and now the Benintendi kid, the Killer Bees.
Pedroia, he's 0 for 2, couple of ground balls. And he sends another ground ball, this time to the shortstop, Ibar, and 2 very quick outs.
Go back to this right here. We're going to give it to you probably from the other angle here. It looks like Porcello says something to him. And Tyler took exception to it.
I wonder if the little bat flip there by Collins and the disgusted look on Tyler's face had anything to do with that.
We can only speculate, but the little fun things that go on, and boys will be boys.
They will indeed. 2 gone now, and there's a ball outside to Xander Bogaerts.
Well, Porcello, even though he has lots of friends on the Tigers' current roster, he said he would not talk to any of them until after this start here tonight. So he means all business. What do you got on that Porcello haircut, Mario?
Now, why did you go to me? Go to Gibby first on this Porcello.
I don't have
haircut.
any hair. Why would I be the expert?
Well, I don't have any either.
What you got, Mario?
You got more than me.
He's going to press me on it, too. It's different. I'm not used to seeing Rick's hair like that. That's a tough play by McGee, and his throw is going to be wide at first base.
He saw Miggy. He was not going to reach that left arm into the baseline, and I doubt very seriously Miggy reaches into the baseline again this year, battling that left bicep injury still a little bit.
That's a dangerous play. Anytime it's up into the line, Miggy did a good job that time of really coming off the bag, inside of the bag, so he doesn't have to deal with that again.
Well, Fulmer had retired 12 of the previous 13, then an infield hit by Bogaerts. Now David Ortiz, who hit the 2-run shot on the first. And Big Papi now on the season with 28 long balls. Came in leading the league in slugging percentage, OPS as well. Way outside 1-0.
Leading the majors, Mario, in both of those categories.
Yeah, it's it really is amazing, and we know this is his last year, and it still looks like he could play a few more years based on these numbers. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 now on David Ortiz.
I tell you what, it doesn't seem like you want to see him retire. I know that he's not feeling that great when he gets up in the morning, though, when you played that many games. And then they give you all these gifts every time. I think the Tigers are going to have a ceremony tomorrow. It'd be kind of hard to take all the gifts and go against your word, wouldn't it?
Yep. You have to give them back. Or not. The 2-0 pitch is outside 3-0.
He wouldn't be pitching around him to get 2 Betts, would he?
Well,
the Boston's got a pretty good middle of the lineup, let's just say that. Don't know if that's much easier. Betts hitting the ball as solid as anybody in the big leagues right now.
And there is nothing to hit at all for Ortiz. So Betts, who comes in with a terrific average with runners in scoring position, will step in.
Yeah, maybe this is why. Big boy, big play of the game. Look at the hips of Big Papi here. He's looking inside because of the previous meetings they had in Boston. And look at the hip. It's already open. He has an idea that Fulmer's going to go in there. And then all of a sudden, the bat comes through the strike zone, and Big Papi does what he has done for a long, long time. Contact to damage ratio is simply off the chain.
Yeah, he cheated on that, no question.
Big time.
That hip came open.
Here's Mookie Betts now with 2 on, 2 out, 4-2. We're in the 5th inning here at Comerica. And Betts had to skip out of the way. It was almost hit by the pitch.
Well, as we were talking, he's got great numbers both against lefties and righties, and hitting .378 with runners in scoring position. That's 4th in the AL. So this is no easy task, and down in the count already.
He's got lightning quick hands. You cannot throw a fastball by him inside.
Popped him up. It's going to get back out of play, though, straight back into the seats.
This is the time of night where the defenders need to help out one another. Saltalamacchia had no idea where that ball was, and the same will hold true for the outfielders when the ball does go up. So you have to make sure anything goes up, just point it out, help your teammate out a little bit, whether you're in the infield or the outfield.
Bouncing ball to third. McGee has it. He'll go to second for the force. And that is it for the Red Sox. They'll leave a couple of guys on. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Right now it's 4-2 in favor of the Red Sox. Boston hit a couple of 2-run homers in the first. J.D. Martinez answered with a 2-run shot of his own. Andrew Romine leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th. Romine, Kinsler, and Ibar. Andrew hit into a force in his first at bat. Romine had the bases loaded walk, which turned out to be the game-winning RBI in yesterday's game. It'll get back out of play. 1-2 on Romine.
And Rick Porcello still has the old school windup where he takes both hands over the head, gets to that real nice balanced position before he releases the ball out in front. And it's in a day and era where many guys are trying to simplify their motions in their deliveries.
Soft little pop up back up the middle and caught on the run by Bogaerts.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. First inning, David Ortiz goes yard after a single. Then Jackie Bradley, 2 batters later, does another. And then J.D. Martinez homers for the Tigers, a 2-run shot. We've got 3 2-run shots in this game so far. The Tigers trail in the bottom of the 5th, 4-2.
It'll bring up Ian Kinsler now. You guys think they're starting to teach that streamlined delivery in the minor leagues to a lot of guys, or are guys just kind of incorporating it themselves?
I think I do. I think, you know, there's a lot of moving parts, and everything has to sync up. You have to have a good balance point. You know, you want to have good rhythm. I think they're trying to simplify it. I mean, hitters do the same thing. You try and have less movement. You don't want to have your eyes moving. You don't want to be drifting in the batter's box or down the mound. So I think that's the approach, and a lot of guys go to the windup even. That's why some of the guys, when they go into the bullpen, they go into the windup.
Just to add to what Gibby said there, Mario, I think a lot of guys that have trouble with their command, with all the moving parts, I think the pitching coaches.
fouled away.
Go to the more simplified delivery. The guy that we most associated with, of course, is David Price. Looks like he's in the stretch all the time, but I think guys that have, like a Rick Porcello, for instance, he's never had an issue with command, so there was never, ever a reason to change him as far as the windup is concerned.
I think it's easier because it all matters where the arm is when the foot comes down. And if you are late, you know, they make adjustments in your windup approach to try and sync that arm up coming out mechanically sound. And the biggie is how can you best repeat your delivery, and that's how you get your command.
Good fastball right here.
Yep.
And right by Ian Kinsler. And the flip side of that is Clay Buchholz, who pitched last night for Boston. He was in the stretch all night. After pitching in the bullpen and having success, he simply stayed with his delivery in the stretch.
Here's Eric Ibar with 2 outs. I want to see the old Satchel Paige windup come back into baseball.
Old school.
Louis Tiant.
Louis Tiant, yeah, something. Paul Bird was the last guy that I remember that had an exaggerated windup.
Baseball needs more colorful guys like a Johnny Cueto.
That's lofted in the air to center field, straight at Jackie Bradley. And Porcello has a 1-2-3 5th inning. On our way to the 6th, 4-2 Boston. Wow, that's a crazy game. The Orioles, we know, can hit some homers, man. And Trumbo is one of the most, well, I guess when you look at comeback players and surprising players this year, Gibby, I mean, it's a lot of bombs. And I know it's a ballpark conducive for homers, but still.
You still got to hit him. I had Mark Trumbo. He was hurt for several years with a foot injury. And now he's been healthy as of late and kind of coming into his own. He's got a lot of power, can hit it to any field, and having a great year. And take a look at the East standings right there. Baltimore finds himself a game and a half back of Toronto. Boston a game and a half as well. Yankees 2 over 500. Tampa Bay 18 back.
Baltimore hit 12 balls last night that had a hit speed of 100 miles per hour or more. Oh, 12 balls hit by that trio probably, and everybody else in that lineup that left their bats at 100 miles per hour or more. That is ridiculous.
There's that Jones, Davis, and Trumbo.
And there's probably some other guys too.
Got him, strike 3. Hanley Ramirez caught looking. 1 gone. We check in with Justin White.
Hey Mario, you can make a legit case that Jackie Bradley Jr.'s entire career path changed right here at Comerica Park just over 1 year ago. You see, when the Red Sox arrived in town in early August, Bradley Jr. was hitting below 200 for his career. But since that series, when he had 3 hits, including a home run, a triple, and 5 RBIs, Bradley is hitting 284, and he's got 29 home runs. I talked to Bradley about that series today, and he said it definitely gave him confidence, and ever since, he has not stopped hitting, Mario and Gibby.
Well, he is flying to left field here. Bradley, 2-run shot in the 1st inning tonight. Right now, that is the difference of the game, but it's amazing how there are some certain turning points in a season for guys, and for Bradley, that was it apparently.
Yeah, we talked about that the last time he was up. He was probably rushed to the big leagues after having an outstanding collegiate career at South Carolina, where he led his team to the College World Series, and after less than 500 at-bats, they rushed him to the movies, and he just wasn't ready.
Here was Sandy Leon, the catcher, who doubled in his last at bat but did not score, and Fulmer throws a strike.
Well, if you think about that, why do you rush guys? I mean, sometimes because he's the best guy you got in your organization. Other times you want him to get on the fast track. But ideally, you can develop in the old-fashioned way, step them up a little bit, let them play there, get comfortable, step them up again, and then sometimes you can bring them up, give them a cup of coffee, and then send them down one more time. They usually settle down, and then the next time up they usually take off, and they're there for good.
I'm not 100% certain on this, guys, but I think that might have been the year that Jacoby Ellsbury left as a free agent, so they really needed a center fielder.
2-1 is inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
I mean, I played, maybe less than 150 games in the minor leagues, and I was excited to come up, just as I'm sure Jackie Bradley was, but I was totally overmatched. And you learn how to play in the big leagues, and the hope was that you come quicker because you're here.
Full count, 3-2 on Leon.
Rod, you'd like to learn the bigs, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time in the bushes before I finally made my debut in the major leagues. I was a high school player. About 4 or 5 years. I was in spring training, big league camp every year, but I was the first cut every year, too.
Bouncer back up the middle, and Kinsler, nope, that's going to be Ibar. His throw is going to be wide. They had the shift on against Leon. That'll be an infield hit. 2-out single. Well, fans, every game counts. The Tigers host the Red Sox this Sunday at 1:10 p.m. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free Nick Castellanos poster. Visit Tigers.com. Call 866-66-TIGER or buy tickets with no fees at the Comerica Park box office.
Well, Leon came into the game hitting .382. Now you know why. He's getting hits like that, too. I'd take a couple.
There's a strike on Brock Holt. 2 out of 3 now for Leon in this game. The Red Sox have 7 hits.
2 of them are infield hits.
Inside, back him out of there, 1-1. Here's the bye inning on Fulmer. That 25 pitch first remains the highest, but he has since gotten his pitch count into pretty good shape. Gave up the 2 2-run shots in the first.
Michael Fulmer threw 112 pitches his last time out, so I would think that they wouldn't go too far with him in this game, and possible that he will miss his next start. For sure, they've got the off day, so he will get an extra day.
Yeah, Brad said right now they're still trying to decide when he will start next, but he will certainly be pushed back next week. Here's a bouncer up the middle into center. Leon winding around the bag, but holding there, and the throw comes back in behind him.
Good job of Andrew Romine right there to get up there and get on it quickly.
Two-out shot now for the number 9 hitter, Benintendi. He absolutely crushed the ball his last time up, hit a laser to first, but a diving play by Miguel saved the day. Here comes Rich Doobie now.
Yeah, I see the bullpen starting to scrap around down there, so Doobie's going to come out. Let Michael have a little breather. Make sure they know how they want to get Benintendi.
You know, there's been a lot of conversation regarding Michael Fulmer and just how many innings he will pitch this year. He's already at above 120, but 120 coming into the contest tonight, plus 15 more in the minor league. So he's at 135. But here's a nice comparison, because the Tigers back in 2009 were really watching Rick Porcello very closely. 14-9 that year. He threw 170 innings in the regular season. I don't know if that counts that game 163 or not, but you can kind of see exactly where these guys are now, where Porcello got to, and where Michael Fulmer might end up at.
And that was that year where Rick was seemingly getting a little bit frustrated because Jim Leyland didn't want him to go deep into games in the 8th or 9th. And in fact, they did that a couple of years for Rick to protect him. Benintendi looks at a strike 0-1. And you can also go back to Justin Verlander, who I believe had in the area of 180 innings his rookie season, but many more when you included the playoffs that year.
He ended up over 200 in his rookie campaign, and I think Fulmer's cut from that same cloth, me personally.
The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he's in a little bit of trouble right here. Got first and second, 2 down. Bruce Rondon warming up in the bullpen.
Little looper back a short into center field, a base hit. Here comes Leon rounding third. They're going to send him home. Romine's throw to the plate cut off. It'll be an RBI single for Andrew Benintendi, and it's now a 5-2 Boston lead. Seventh RBI of the year for the rookie.
Sounded like he broke his bat on this. Looped out there nicely. Actually right off the label. And Andrew Romine, Ibar just out of his reach right here. Andrew Romine comes in and thought he probably had a better shot at third base, but cut off by Miggy.
It's amazing how guys are really contributing, guys that were drafted last year, as Benintendi was, and 14 months removed from the draft. He started this season in A-ball. Then he was moved to Double-A for a brief time, and then now in the move he's helping his team try to capture and get to the postseason.
This might be it for Fulmer. They're sending Saltalamacchia out to the mound to give Rondon a few more warm-up tosses. We'll see if he faces Pedroia here.
Huge crowd here tonight, as it always is on Friday night, but they haven't gotten loud yet.
Well, he'll stay in to face Pedroia, who is 0 for 3. 3 ground ball outs in this game for Dustin. 5-2 Red Sox lead. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Pedroia came into this game over 300, 12 homers. Big on base percentage. He has done well since being elevated to their leadoff position in the lineup. Runner breaks to second, ground ball, base hit right field. That'll score a run. Benintendi goes to third. He'll stop there. It's an opposite field single for Dustin Pedroia.
Well, 2 outs, not a hit run, just got him on the move. Opens that hole up. Ian Kinsler is covering, and these Boston Red Sox, they run the bases well.
So Pedroia gets his 54th RBI and extends his hitting streak to 10 in a row. And it's now 6-2 Boston, and here is Xander Bogaerts with runners at first and third. Couple of hits for Bogaerts, one of them an infield single. Six runs on 10 hits now for Boston. Another throwback.
Here comes Brad. Gonna make a change now.
That's going to be it for Fulmer. So he will surrender 2 more runs here in the 6th. And the Red Sox now have a downtown Detroit. The Red Sox lead here in the 6th, 6-2. And Bruce Rondon coming out of the bullpen, replacing Michael Fulmer.
Yeah, Michael's going to be disappointed. 6 runs. That's the most runs he's given up ever. Gave up 5 in a couple runs this year. One was Cleveland real early in his in this year.
Runner bluffing at first and a swing and a miss.
It's a good pitch there by Rondon. Bogaerts obviously geared up for that high octane fastball that gets up into the upper 90s, and he pulled the string with a 83-mile-per-hour slide piece.
Tried to jump him. Sneak attack.
A couple of singles in this game for Bogaerts. 10 hits for the Red Sox, only 3 for the Tigers. Bogaerts an all-star this year for the first time. Swing and a miss.
Another good slider. As Rod was saying, they look for the heater. It's 98, 99 miles an hour. This slider is good. Now, if he only develops where he can consistently throw that, he'll really be a mainstay here in the Tigers bullpen.
And now if you're Rondon, you can simply go upstairs with a high octane fastball out of the strike zone, or maybe finish him off with that same breaking ball.
Runner goes, and a bouncing ball up the middle. Ibar will throw to first in time by a step to end the inning. However, 2 more runs in for the Red Sox. We'll go to the
came in, but the Michigan, the big maize and blue, kind of like set us up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did. It was all right. It was a good visit.
Good Michigan boy.
That's right. Cabrera leading it off. Tigers down now 6-2 as Porcello goes to work here in the bottom of the 6th. Miggy, a couple of ground balls in this game, is 0 for 2.
Mar, it's been a couple of years since we've seen Porcello. He look any different to you out there?
Well, The strikeout numbers were up for him last year, Rod, and the strikeout numbers this year are up as well. And he just seems like a little bit of a different guy this time around. I mean, he was sinker, sinker, sinker the last time we saw him, and he still gets his ground balls.
You know, when he pitched here for the Tigers, he always pitched in the shadow of guys like Verlander, Sanchez, Scherzer. Then David Price came on the scene. Anibal Sanchez. He was always pitching in the shadow of all of those guys, but yet he was winning 10, 12, 13, 14 games a year.
Here's the 2-2 whistled foul. I think part of the problem was, I don't know if this is a problem, but it's a situation where when you're drafted in the first round, he came out of high school. So much is expected of these guys so early now these days, and Rick, all he did was consistently win.
Well, he was drafted. He was here, what, 2 years later?
Right.
Just a little bit over a year. So, and he's in the playoffs. But my observation, just from actually, he pitched against us, was he used to be more of a one-pitch pitcher, I think. I think his secondary stuff, he's much more effective with it. Locates it much better. He's got the changeup, the slider. Right there, he came off the body. That's a front door. I don't know that he had the location like that. He gets me on a pretty good pitch. His front door slider down in the zone. He's just a much more polished big league pitcher right now. He knows what he's doing. He's off to having a real good start against the Tigers so far tonight. See, he's on the side right there. It looks like it's going to be inside. Is it a sinker? No. Just cuts on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, Leon, the catcher, may have helped out the umpire there, pulling that one up ever so slightly to the knees of Miguel Cabrera to get the call from the home plate umpire.
Yeah, Jerry Lane's always known to have a true strike zone, maybe a little extra though. That's Miggy wanted that call, didn't get it.
Benintendi under it, and there are two gone.
Let's take a look at Porcello this season. We talked about the built-in windup, the real slow delivery that he has when he's in the stretch. Sometimes he goes to the windup, but he releases that ball out in front. But when he releases out in front, he's getting a lot of carry and a lot of backspin on his fastball. Lots of strikeouts up in the strike zone with his four-seam fastball. And then when he wants to get the ground ball, he'll either go to the breaking ball down, he'll go to the two-seamer down, and that's pretty much been where his bread is buttered. But I give him all the credit in the world, guys, because when he was drafted out of high school, we didn't see that 94, 95 that we heard about, but he never changed his game. He just continued to pound that strike zone with quality strikes, and he never really ever walked anybody, even when he was 20 years old in the big leagues.
Yeah, we kind of forget that he finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting in '09. And really, when you look at his numbers, while his ERA was a little bit higher than most wanted, he won games. That's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's good. Be a good guy to beat tonight, wouldn't he? Nice comeback piece.
Yeah, could be good. 101 career wins. 27 or younger. He is atop that list of guys named Bumgarner, Sale, Garrett Cole. Now the 1-1.
Nicely placed right there. Good fastball down and away. Not really making any mistakes. The only mistake he made, JD made him pay. Since then, on target.
Leon wants it up. Fouled away. Porcello, 27 years of age, out of Morristown, New Jersey. Red Sox right now can call him their ace at this point, the way he's pitching. Signed a 4-year deal prior to last season. And another one pounded back out of play.
There are many in Boston, Mario, that felt like he tried to live up to that 4-year deal because they gave it to him before he really hadn't even thrown a pitch for his new team, and he was trying to create more velocity, change the way that he pitched, and he just got off to a miserable start last year, but he looks awfully comfortable out there now.
It's tough to fail in any big league ballpark, but Fenway Park, he had a little extra.
Yeah, Kirk and I talked about this before the game. Pitching in places like Boston or Yankee Stadium in New York, it's a different animal. And for Porcello, he needed that year to get it acclimated. Even David Price apparently has, still trying to get acclimated to Boston. Again, the 1-2. Bouncing ball foul.
Every single pitch that Porcello has thrown to JD Martinez in this particular pitch sequence has been up in the strike zone, and then finally goes down to the bottom of the zone, and J.D. Martinez still able to foul it off.
Yeah, got him to reach right there. Come inside yet? Go back away.
2-2.
Well, that's the curveball right there. The pitch that he's developed after shelving the slider, although the one that he threw to Miggy, to me, looked like a slider.
That'll stay up and in, and the count goes 3-2. Porcello needed just 80 pitches in his last start to go 7 innings, allowing just 1 run against the Diamondbacks. It was a 16-2 win. And he bounced it in for ball 4, and JD has himself a 2-out walk. Second walk of the game for Porcello. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. 10-pitch at bat there for J.D. Martinez. It results in a walk.
Good battle right there in the top of the inning. Boston scored 2 runs after 2 outs started the inning, and then they got an infield hit by Sandy Leon. See if the Tigers can't do the same.
0-1 on Collins.
Just bat around the order.
Tyler, strikeout flyout. He swung on a 3-0 pitch in his last at bat and flied it to shallow center.
Yeah, him and Mr. Porcello had a little conversation.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Collins.
And Tyler needs to cut that swing down. Looks like he's looking for a little bit more revenge here, trying to take Porcello out of the yard.
Brock Holt is moving over from third base to the right side of the infield now with an 0-2 count. The bunt taken out of order, so they'll play the shift. Didn't matter. Swing and a miss to strike him out, and the inning is over. 8 strikeouts for Porcello. Well, Rod, thanks again, buddy. We'll see you on postgame.
All right, my pleasure, fellas.
See you again tomorrow, Rod.
You're on the same line there with Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth.
He's had outstanding career, and again, it's just hard to believe that he's going to bow out gracefully after having such a great contribution. It seemed like he'd want one more World Series. Of course, they're going after that this year.
Rondon back on the hill as we go to the 7th, and Ortiz takes one low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the top line is pretty impressive, but the bottom line is not all that bad either.
Right. Well, Willie Mays heads that charge down there in the bottom right. Consecutive season with 21+ home runs in the history of the game. You look back to David Ortiz when he was in Minnesota, and that they actually let him go.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good pickup there. After that, he's had a great career in Boston.
Rondon ready with the 2-1. Hammered to right field. It's going to drop, though. Base hit right in front of J.D. Martinez. Second hit of the ball game for Big Poppy.
Think about the DH. You could argue about was it good for the game or not good for the game, but it's been good for David Ortiz, and he's certainly taken the extra time to craft his trade, and that is hit. That swing right there, just nice and calm, not drifting too far. Puts the barrel right there on the ball, hits it right out in front.
Well, that position was good for a lot of guys. It kept Harold Baines in the game. It kept Jim Thome in the game. Edgar Martinez.
Yep, Edgar.
0-1 on Mookie Betts. Victor? Yeah, our own V-Mart.
I mean, back in 2005, he had 148 RBI. That was the best year he had. Still going strong. 27 home runs and 93 RBI right now.
0-2 on Betts. up and in. And for those wondering, Mookie is not his given first name. Given first name is Marcus.
Wasn't it after Mookie Blaylock?
Mookie Blaylock. Yeah, Mom was a big Mookie Blaylock fan. And the 1-2. There's a line drive over the head of the shortstop Ivar into left field. Base hit. All he needed was just another spring or two in his step, and he would have gotten to that ball.
This ball was kind of like the ball that went through Bogart's glove. This one just off the tip. That had some afterburners on it. I think he mistimed that jump a little bit. That ball got there a little quicker than he thought.
Here is Hanley Ramirez. Hanley had a single, stole a base, and scored on the Bradley home run. That was back in the first. Fouled off 0-1. That's 12 hits now for the Red Sox offense tonight. This game started with a bang. The Red Sox hit a pair of homers in the first. JD hit a homer in the second. And then things quieted down a bit before the Red Sox knocked Michael Fulmer out of the game in the sixth.
Salty going out there. I don't know if there's a little mishap right there. But wanted to get on the same page. Tigers down 6-2. They're capable of, I know they've struggled recently scoring runs, but they are capable of coming back and winning this game. It's essential that Bruce shuts them down right here. I was asking Brad before the game, you've been on a lot of teams. How do you know, how can you influence a team to get kind of out of these little slumps? You know, is there any golden way to do it? And you know, there just isn't. You just keep swinging, you just keep grinding. Hope that you get a break or two.
Well, I know the bench really ignited in the 8th inning yesterday, and again it looked like when the Tigers gave up 2 late runs, well, here we go again, they're going to lose. And well, they got that leadoff single from Kinsler, and that gave them a little bit of life. Then Ibar doubled, and all of a sudden the crowd was into it, and it was a different feel.
We got a good crowd here tonight. They could.
There's a drive into the gap in right center field. That ball is hit well. JD not going to get it, going to go to the wall. This might get 2 runs in. Ramirez on his way to second. He's going to hold there. It's a 2-run double for Hanley Ramirez. 3 straight hits for the Red Sox here in the 7th.
And we were talking, Bruce came out of the pen, threw a couple good sliders. This one, not one of them. See, it kind of hangs up in the zone, and Hanley Ramirez with a good inside-out swing up to the gap in right center field. And Ortiz and Betts score easily.
13 hits now for the Red Sox. They lead 8-2. And the second hit of the ball game for Hanley Ramirez. Now Jackie Bradley. Ball 1. Bradley a 2-run homer in the first. He is 1 for 3. That's it there. A strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox now are 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight, and that's why they've got an 8-2 lead.
Yeah, they've scrapped hits together there in the first. Single and a home run, made an out. Single and another home run. Last inning, infield hit, single, single.
That ball driven to center field, hit well, but Romine backs up to make the play. That'll advance the runner. Bradley is out, move the runner to third, 1 gone.
And they're swinging the bats well tonight.
We're at Comerica Park tonight on a gorgeous night for baseball here. Game 2 in the series. Mario and Pemba, Kirk Gibson, glad you are with us here this evening. Joe Nicola is our producer tonight. Brian Moss, our director. And Sandy Leone, our batter. He is 2 out of 3, single, double.
And this guy's just having an incredible year. It's only about 150 at bats into the season. Hitting .382 coming into the game. Got an infield hit that was a 2-out hit that started the 2-run 6th inning. for the Boston Red Sox.
Infield in a couple of steps here with the runner at third and one out. Leon now 3 hits in the series, single, double, homer. And a strike on the outer edge. 0-2 on Leon, who didn't like that call, and Fox Track said it was a smidge outside.
True Jerry Lane's zone right there. Ball is moving. That one's a little far probably.
The 0-2. That dart's low and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Again, same as last night, these Boston Red Sox putting on good at bats. You can get strikes on them. They battle. Foul pitches off. Take pitches, good chase pitches like the last one that Rondon threw down and in.
Kyle Ryan loose in the Tigers bullpen. That'll bounce in 2-2. Well, we're seeing why these Red Sox came in leading the league in average, runs, hits, a lot of offensive categories.
No, they're hitting 286 with runners in scoring position.
There you go.
Look at first batting average, on base, slugging, runs per game, extra base hits. Tigers are at 273.
Swing and a miss, and Leon is out of there. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Brock Holt. Well, the pennant race is on. Place a deposit on 2017 Tigers season tickets and receive 2016 postseason priority. Call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com. Two outs now for Holt. Infield backing up with a runner at third. That's flared foul down the left field line.
Red Sox also pretty solid. They do a pretty good job of platooning down there at third base. Holt. They also do Aaron Hill down there. Travis Shaw.
Of course, they had Pablo Sandoval, and he was shelved with an injury.
That turned out to be a good break for him. I mean, I don't want to sound cruel, but they're a totally different team. It was Shaw that beat him out to start the season, wasn't it?
Right.
And Pablo turned out that he had an injury, and he may have had surgery, but he's pretty much done for the year.
Now Rondon ready with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Holt goes down. That'll end the inning. 2 more runs in for the Red Sox, though. And coming up, the McLaren Health Plan round here at the ballpark. The Red Sox lead tonight 8-2. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, Rick Porcello goes back to work. It'll be the bottom 3. McGee, Saltalamacchia, and Romine. Aaron Hill has come in to play third base. This ball flared back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, just watching the Tigers. Porcello just throwing a gem of a game, just reading the swings. He's really struggling, even with the fastballs, throwing it right by people. So he's got a little extra life tonight.
It's fouled straight back.
Thought it was coming for a second.
Needed a little bit more giddy up.
But throwing to both sides of the plate as well. All of his pitches to both sides. This is, I think, a much better Rick Porcello than I've recently seen.
McGee takes one up and in. .115 is the pitch count high this year for Porcello. That is popped up foul. This will find the seats. Single and a walk for McGee. There's Salty waiting on deck. McGee big league time with Milwaukee, the Marlins, the Cubs prior to coming to Detroit. Bouncing ball back up the middle, down to a knee. Pedroia, man, does he get up quick. 1 out.
Well, Casey, he likes to go the other way, especially when he gets a strike or 2 on him, and Pedroia goes down. Look at, jumps right up. Again, these guys, that the veteran guys who have played for so long, when they get up that quickly, the normal person could not make an accurate throw like that and make it look easy. Rick Porcello now at 100 pitches, 68 of them strike, 68%. That's not bad. I think you want to be right around 68, 70%.
Saltalamacchia backs out of there. Couple of strikeouts against Porcello tonight for Saltalamacchia. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. 94 for Rick, 71 the low. Throwing a very good game tonight.
Bouncer back to the mound, got by Porcello. And no play. Bogarts couldn't handle it, and the runner is aboard.
We'll take it. Need runners.
So the Tigers have 1 on, 1 out.
It's that new glove, isn't it?
It is.
Not quite as flimsy as the old glove. Remember, he got the webbing broke on a line drive.
Infield hit for Saltalamacchia.
He doesn't get many of those, does he?
Here is Romine, who has a pop-up and a ground ball. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Ground ball right to first. Ramirez will spin, throw to second, 1, relay, double play. Not bad for a guy that didn't play a whole lot of first base. Hanley Ramirez starts a 3-6-3 double play. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. All side windows pitching change. It'll be Mark Lowe coming in.
45th game for Mark Lowe. Had been throwing better as of late, although had a little hiccup the other day. So in the down game, get some work in. Hopefully he can hold the Boston Red Sox to this 8-2 deficit.
Here is Benintendi to lead it off. He'll be followed by Pedroia, then Bogarts, and the first one is low and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, you can see Boston, they got Benintendi buried down there in the number 9 spot. That's very good for a rookie, a guy just coming up for Double-A. Probably want him to get the fewest amount of at bats as he can, yet be involved, and he's a pretty good second leadoff hitter. Gets one down in the right field corner.
Going to be an extra base hit now as Benintendi goes to second, and he will pull in with a leadoff double. He could have had 2 of those tonight had it not been a great play for Cabrera.
He likes that first pitch up in the zone he sees. I believe this was a slider. You see the fingers on the side. He likes the ball down as well. That's the 14th hit for the Red Sox tonight. Only 4 for the Tigers. They're swinging the bats well.
Top of the order now. Here is Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia had an RBI single in the 2-run 6th. Little bit. Nope, it's on the outside corner. Strike. Foxtrack said it missed, but Jerry Lane said it didn't. Pedroia with 54 RBIs, 10-game hitting streak now for their leadoff man, who since being inserted to the leadoff spot is hitting over 400. And that was just a few days ago, about a week ago, they put him into the leadoff slot. 0-2 on Dustin. Tigers tonight have been out hit 14-4. It's been all Boston to this point. Only a J.D. Martinez home run in the second. It's been it for the Tigers offensively. Little chopper left side of the infield. Ibar on the charge. Tough play. And he is safe at first base.
We'll take a look at this.
Pedroia busting it down the line. Ibar had to throw that one off balance.
Yeah, Pedroia got out of the box really good. I don't know that they're going to take a look at this.
I thought he was out.
So did I.
I don't know.
Does the heel touch first?
Yeah, we lost the ball in that picture. Here you go.
I think the first few. I think. Oh.
Nah. I mean,
what do you got to lose?
Exactly. That was going to be my point. You might as well just go ahead and do it. You never know, and Brad waves it off.
Guess didn't feel it was convincing, so.
Infield hit.
Here's a good shot right there. Pretty much, they might have got him by a whisker, but not probably enough to turn it over.
Here is Xander Bogaerts. First and second, nobody out. Bogaerts is 2 out of 4 tonight. Down the middle it comes, 0-1.
That's 3 infield hits for the Red Sox tonight. Not only have they been driving it out of the park, but the swinging bunts have been effective as well.
Sliced out of play, no balls, 2 strikes on Bogaerts. These two teams will square off the next 2 days as well. It is a 4-game weekend series before the Tigers get an off day on Monday. And we found out today that it appears Jordan Zimmerman will throw a simulated game here on Sunday at the ballpark.
Yeah, I know he threw a bullpen a couple of days ago, and he said he felt pretty decent, so he's probably throwing on the side now for the simulated. Probably go 2 innings, which he'll get up and then sit down and get up again, and they'll work from there.
Mike Pelfrey soon thereafter. I think Cameron Maben's getting close as well. He was swinging the bat with no pain.
Yeah, they've got like a padding on that injured thumb, so it doesn't hurt when he swings the bat. He wants to play, I know that. Chomping at the bit. Tigers could use him.
Here's the 1-2. High fly ball, center field, backing up Romine. Runner at second will tag, and Benintendi will move up. Throw comes back into second base. That'll leave him at first and third.
Well, let's take a look at Tigers DL and give you a little update on everything that's going on. Castellanos, he's going to be out another 3 to 4 weeks. Iglesias is healing up. Maben as well. Pelfrey says he feels good. Verhagen's out for the year. Jordan Zimmerman off the mound for a simulated coming up. Pelfrey throwing earlier out here before everybody gets here. I mean, he seems in good spirits and ready to go. You really get it recharged as well after when you come off the DL this late into a season. You go through the first part of the season, you get tired, and then when you get injured, you get the blow and come back effective. Tigers are going to need that.
Here's Travis Shaw hitting, and a swing and a miss. So Shaw for Ortiz. (8-2) ball game here in the 8th. First and third, 1 out. He'll miss inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Kind of interesting taking out David Ortiz and pinch hitting Shaw. Does a couple things, and I guess he feels John Farrell must feel good about his back end of his bullpen and Porcello being able to hold the Tigers down, as well as getting Ortiz get him off his feet early and get Shaw some at bats.
Tigers are going to honor David Ortiz tomorrow in the pregame ceremony here at the ballpark.
Going to present him with a framed gift, we hear. Find out what it is tomorrow.
Meanwhile, it's 3-1 now on Shaw. Lowe came in here in the 8th after Rondon went 1 1/3 for the Tigers. Bruce gave up the 2-run double to Hanley Ramirez in the 7th. Benintendi and Pedroia, your base runners. And he walked him. That's going to load the bases.
Well, we talked about the bullpen for the Tigers beginning of this homestand, and they've been throwing the ball very well. They've struggled so far this homestand.
Well, fans, Fox Sports Detroit University Days roll right along this summer. Oakland University at Comerica Park, Monday, September 12th. Buy a special ticket package to the game and get a special edition Tigers baseball cap in Golden Grizzlies colors. Buy tickets, or to get more information, visit tigers.com/OU.
When are they going to? They have the MSU Day?
Yeah, it's coming up next week. Think we can score a couple of those green and white Tiger hats?
How about some green suits?
Do you have one?
Of course. You want me to bring one in for you? If you don't have one, I'll loan one for you.
Yeah, get one for me.
We'll just pin it up a little bit.
You're gonna have to pin it up a lot.
Yeah, no, it'll fit fine. You get your own trousers though. Trousers and undergarments you provide. I'll provide the coat.
All right. 1 ball, 1 strike on Betts.
Need the double play.
And it's in there. A strike called. 1-2. Betts has a single and 4 at bats in this game. 7-game hitting streak now. They're loaded up with 1 out. 8-2 Red Sox lead. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Betts is out of there. 2 gone.
That's a good slider right there. That's what he's aiming to throw all the time. Hasn't been able to do it with the consistency that he hoped. Right down in the outside corner. Betts down at strikes.
Salone now trying to work out of this jam here has Hanley Ramirez stepping in. 2-run double in the 7th.
Hanley's come back had a good year, especially offensively. He's always kind of been known for his offense, even back when he was with the Marlins. Went out to the Dodgers. Kind of slowed down range-wise, defensively. So the Red Sox put him in left field. Did not work out. Now at first base, we saw a pretty effective throw there in the double play.
Benintendi and then Pedroia, and at first base is Shaw. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ramirez. Hanley originally part of the Red Sox organization, then was traded with Anibal Sanchez to the Marlins in the Josh Beckett deal. He was once teammates with Anibal.
Yeah, #1 prospect back then for the Red Sox. He's turned into quite the pro as well.
Ripped down the left field line. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. 2 runs will score. Shaw going to third base, and Hanley Ramirez having a night. That's going to be a 4 RBI night. 2 out, 2 base hit.
Well, his last at bat, he took the double to right center field. This time he gets the fastball inside and turns on it. It's when you know your feet are right. Ball's trying to bear in on his hands, but he gets the bat head out, down into the left field corner. 2 more score. Tigers trail 10-2.
That'll bring up Jackie Bradley Jr. It's the second 2-run double in as many innings for Hanley Ramirez. 16th hit for Boston. Inside 1-0. Red Sox have now scored 2 in each of the last 3 innings. And more action in the Tigers pen again. Kyle Ryan. That's in for a strike. 1-1 on Bradley. 3 fly ball outs, but a 2-run homer early helped set the tone. The Red Sox hit 2 2-run shots in the first. And have never trailed in this game. Tigers got to within 4-2, but that's just close. And that is pulled foul to first base.
If you're Brad, you might want to think about giving some of your guys a rest as well.
Yeah, you get to the point where you get late in the game and a score like this where you consider it, don't you?
Absolutely. Like, you know, they got Craig Kimbrell down there. Pretty good. It's going to be hard to come back. You don't ever want to wave the white flag, but Miggy's been on his feet a lot, played a lot. Kinsler as well. Seriously consider a blow for those guys.
Salty, good block there, and the count now on Bradley 2-2. Tigers, and there's two guys that you mentioned, Cabrera and Kinsler, that really go out there literally every day.
Lots of games. They're going to continue to go out there.
2-2 on Jackie Bradley Jr. This is the 7th man to bat in the inning. All started with a double by the number 9 hitter Benintendi. Now the cat and mouse game continues as Bradley steps out. And he missed outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Lowe now has thrown 26 pitches here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Miggy at 119 games. Kinsler at 118.
Swing and a miss. And that'll finally end the inning. 2 more runs in, though. It's now a 10-2 score for the Boston Red Sox as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Hey, who's that guy?
Game plan against him tonight, and scored a lot of runs. That's unusual, but he'll be back for more. And we have a new pitcher for Boston, Heath Hembree, 28th game. ERA of 2.41. 36 strikeouts, 12 walks.
Hembree in his 3rd stint now with the big club this year was recalled from their Pawtucket team in AAA on Monday the 15th. He'll go to work now against a pinch hitter. It's Alex Presley standing in. He'll bat for Ian Kinsler. And Devin Marrero is taking over for Dustin Pedroia at second. So both teams now going to the bench a little bit. Presley fouls it back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, definitely the right thing to do. Get Kinsler and Miggy as well. Get some time off, maybe even Victor. Got 4 on your bench. You got to use them. Now, I've done this before, and all of a sudden they creep back into the game.
I was going to say that. There's a ball outside, and the count goes 2-1. Heath Hembree out of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
I tell you, this is not the way that Ian Kinsler wants to come out of the game.
Ian was 0 for 3 tonight. Here's a high fly ball right field. That one is hit well, going back to the track, to the wall, and caught. Wrong part of the ballpark. 1 away. Hey, by the way, you can follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video, highlights, StatCast news, and a whole lot more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Here's Ivar. Eric 0 for 3, looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Hembree attended the College of Charleston. The 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball right side of the infield on the charge, Marrero. And Ivar is out, 2 gone. Well, what do we got on tap tomorrow? Here's the upcoming matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning. You got Drew Pomerantz and Daniel Norris.
Well, Drew Pomerantz, big lefty, came over from San Diego, and he's throwing the ball pretty good. 2.99 ERA. Daniel Norris, of course, healthy again. Had the intercostal rib cage sprain. 1-1 record so far. 3.47 ERA. Trying to throw a gem tomorrow. Remember when things weren't going good on the road trip, they lost the first game to Texas, and Matt Boyd threw a beauty. So it can be done by the youngster.
Dixon Machado is batting for Miguel Cabrera. Dixon at Toledo this year, 266. Occasional power, 3 homers. Stole some bases as well, and he missed that one by a wide margin, 0-2.
What I've seen from Machado, doesn't like the off-speed pitches at all. Really struggled since he's been up here. Breaking pitches, change-ups.
Now the 0-2. Ball high. Embry following Porcello, who threw 7 really strong innings tonight. The only blemish was the J.D. Martinez rocket of a home run back in the second. Fouled away.
Kyle Ryan looks like he's going to come into the game. He's warmed up a few times tonight, so he's nice and loose. Get a quality inning in. Be ready to pitch in a meaningful game tomorrow should the score remain the same.
And Machado looks at a ball outside. 96 there from Embry, who broke into the big leagues with San Francisco back in 2013.
Started in the Giants, with the Giants 5th round. Giants draft well.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Embry will handle it, and Machado is out. Tigers go in order, 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. That means we go to the 9th. All right, Shep, thanks. Well, here's what the standings look like right now. 6.5 game spread. Tigers 3.5 out of the wild card. Of course, pending the outcome of this game. And Boston has a big lead in this one, 10-2 as we go to the 9th inning. And the first pitch is rolled foul to third base.
Well, Cleveland's got it rolling. You have 2 walk-offs in a row. That's exceptional. Trevor Bauer on the mound, and I believe he fanned 13. It's a career high for him. So that's one of their back-end guys. So, you know, they've got pretty good pitching from their starters. They keep rolling, but they got to face some tough teams coming up. Hopefully they'll lose some momentum so the Tigers can get back where they were up there, close to 2 games back.
Have you ever seen a walk-off inside the park home run?
I have not.
I don't believe I have either. Here's the 1-1 inside.
And Tyler Nick, when I know he likes the ball down in the zone. It seems like every highlight I see him hitting it, the ball's down. But he's having a heck of a rookie season.
See the changes there for the Tigers. Presley in center. Romine goes to first. Machado at second. Kyle Ryan pitching the 9th inning. He's got Leon, Holt, and Hill rather, and Benintendi. They've also gone with Rondon, and they've gone with Lowe tonight. And he missed high. 3-2 now on Sandy Leon. 16 hits for the Bo Sox this evening. Sliced foul down the first base line. That'll go up against the tarp. Fans just begging for a souvenir there. It's just so close, but yet so far.
Where do you think the best spot in the park is to catch one?
It's
got to be behind the plate.
Yeah, I would think so. With all the foul pops, go even the ones that go over the screen. Yeah, I'd say that. And that's foul down the first base line.
That's a pretty good area as well.
Now, when you were at the plate in your playing days, the right field seats was the best spot for you, right?
Home run.
Yeah.
In Tiger Stadium. Didn't go the other way too much.
Swing and a miss, and he dusts Leon.
Here's the 1-800 call Sam, call the game. And we're going to show you something earlier in the week. Tyler Collins, remember this play, Ian Kinsler goes out. A little fly ball goes well out there. Tyler Collins is playing center field and should take charge right here. Doesn't do it. Ian gets spooked. And here's today. He is in left field, but you want your outfielders to take charge. And Collins is way back. You see it looks like Ibar's got it. Calls him up. I got it, I got it, I got it. That's the way it's supposed to work. So obviously they had a little talk about it. He learned from it, and that's good stuff for the future.
Aaron Hill, the batter. First at bat of the ball game, came on as a defensive replacement. 10-2 Red Sox lead here in the ninth. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Ibar ranging left, spinning, throwing. Got him. Nice play. Two gone.
Pretty good play off to his left. Little spin move. Look at the pick here. Look at the glove action at first base. See how he's going out right there? That's where you want to do. You don't want to leave it. Andrew Romine, he can do it all.
Literally.
You can walk him in too if he needs to. He showed us last night.
Strike called on Benintendi. 2 out of 4 tonight. Had a single double. RBI as well. Now the 0-1.
It'd be interesting to see how they throw Benintendi tomorrow. He's got a couple hits tonight. Lined one also, could have had another hit. See if they make any adjustments. You get a young kid or a new player, you don't really know where to throw him. Of course, he's lefty on lefty. Benintendi so far hitting it 400 from left-hand side. So better than the right-hand side, but he has minimal at bats.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss, and Kyle Ryan has a 1-2-3 ninth inning. To the bottom we go. It's 10-2 Red Sox.
Here's a guy that came over from I believe he was at Washington. He started there, came over throwing the ball good, has struggled as of late, lost his high leverage situation role, gave that to Robbie Ross Jr. But his 47th game, walked a few, 32 strikeouts, 17 walks. ERA at 3.55, and he'll try and keep the Tigers at bay here in the ninth.
James McCann will get a pinch hitting role here for Victor Martinez.
Expect James will probably be in the lineup tomorrow, so you probably want to get him an AB. That makes sense.
Abad here in the ninth inning. And the first one is fouled back 0-1. I asked you last inning if you'd ever seen a walk-off inside the park home run like Naquin hit tonight. Apparently Angel Pagan a couple of years ago in 2013 hit one for the Giants to beat the Rockies. That was the last one hit.
Yeah, I wonder that might have been in San Francisco, probably that Triples Alley there. That's
yeah.
A pretty tricky place to play. Remember the All-Star game they had there? Ichiro hit one off there. Remember that?
Yep.
Hits that brick. You don't know where it's going to bounce.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Abad acquired in a trade to help the bullpen of the Red Sox, who have not had to use their closer Kimbrel in either of the first 2 games.
We were talking before the game what happened off Brad Ziegler last night. If that would have been in the ninth inning, it would have been much tougher. They would have brought Kimbrel in. He's a very good closer. Surprised that Atlanta traded him initially over to the Padres, and then the Padres moved him on quickly. But Atlanta in a rebuilding mode.
2-2 on McCann. Fouled out of play. JD Martinez waiting on deck. And then Tyler Collins.
See, James will be playing tomorrow. Pomeranz on the mound. He's a lefty, so you give him that left-handed bat. Swings the bat way better from the against left-handed pitchers.
3-2. And the hook, a swing and a miss. One gone here in the ninth. They on September 25th experience a yoga session on the field. Yoga Day packages include a ticket to the 105 game against the Royals, a Tigers yoga mat, and a postgame yoga class on the Comerica Park field, available exclusively at tigers.com/yoga.
Are you a big yoga guy?
I've tried it. Not really hardcore, just tried a few easy poses.
What do you think?
It's a great workout. Here's a high towering drive to center, going to be caught though as Bradley comes over. The one thing I learned is I'm not nearly as flexible as I thought I was.
Well, but if you know you're not flexible, like I know I'm not.
Just don't even try it.
So it should be good for me, right?
It should be, yeah, no question. Here's Tyler Collins now with 2 outs. Five in a row retired by the Red Sox bullpen in this one. 10-2 Boston. Tigers down to their last out. Shifting on Collins a bit to the right side of the infield, and Abad misses outside 1-0. Tyler 0 for 3 tonight. In there, buckled him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Abad usually has a pretty good breaking ball right there. You see that buckled Tyler Collins started it right at the right shoulder of him. Got to learn to recognize those pitches.
One and 2 on Collins. And Collins stays alive. Should he reach, McGee would be next.
Tyler Collins got to start early in the week off a lefty. Generally, left-handers don't see that many lefties as they go around the league. Way more righties that pitch should start on a daily basis. But a hitter would always claim that if you see him, you have a better opportunity. That is true. However, many of the teams now play the matchups.
And Sale outside 3 and 2. Tyler just 143 against lefties this year. Tigers only runs tonight coming on the JD Martinez homer in the second.
There's the breaking ball.
And he got him. Strike 3 to end the ball game. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Abad. And the Tigers will fall here tonight by a final score of 10-2. The Red Sox have evened up this series at 1 win apiece.
Well, that's a tough one. The Red Sox came out a little differently tonight than they did last night. Had the big boys in the game. Pedroia,